Hey guys, I'm back with another video update on my hammer valve airsoft rifle, and I'm building this new bolt action breech load unit, and I figured since I'm in the process of making it, I would just make a little video so you could kind of get a better idea how it works and stuff like that. So I'm gonna kind of go over the steps I'm taking and show you guys how I'm making it. Before I go on with that, I just want to say that I made a modification to my hammer unit. I've added another spring inside that's about half the power of the mainspring, so the hammer has a little bit more momentum now, which means it's able to open the valve at higher pressures. So before this modification, I was able to get good shots at about 200 psi, maybe a little higher, but with the modification I start to get good power up pressures around 250 to 275 psi. So I got a little bit more power with that modification, and that'll probably compensate for more dead volume as a result of this breech load. So in the end it'll all work out. It'll probably be a little bit more powerful, but at the cost of having a little bit less shot capacity, which is fine because I'm still getting very many shots on one fill. Another thing you probably noticed is this scope. I've actually had it for a while. It was built for this gun, but I never finished it. As you can see, it's in development, but it's not magnifying or anything. It's mainly for looks. No more functional than simple iron sights, but it makes it look cool, and I think I'm going to paint it and secure it onto the barrel and stuff. Also, I have this little mount here that's a perfect fit for my barrel, and I'll probably use that to mount my laser. I have this mount too for something else, and my barrel supports are just off right now. So this unit is based off the design that I'll show in a few seconds. Basically, you pull this airtight seal back, and then there will be a hole up here for a BB to drop in. This seal will then be pushed back forward to push the BB up against the breech, and there will be an input hole right here where it will connect to the valve output, and the back will be sealed and you can fire and it'll go directly out the barrel. So that's the concept. I'll show that design right now. Now the exact internal configuration is going to be a little different than in that design, just for building ease and stuff, but it's the same idea, and I'm going to be showing you how I construct it anyway, so you'll see exactly how it works. So my next step in making this will be to drill an input hole so that I can find out exactly how long my push rod needs to be to get the BB tied up against the barrel. As of now, this unit is almost exactly what it looks like. 1/2-inch PVC and a male adapter, and through the middle of it is 1/4-inch aluminum tubing, which you can see right there, and it's tape wrapped for a center fit and cast epoxy right around the barrel there, and there's also epoxy through this whole entire pipe, and it's capped off with this washer. And the little airtight push rod in the center is made out of a antenna, actually, the tip of an antenna. You can see it's hollow, and I've just put an O-ring groove on the head of it using my drill press as a sort of lathe, and fit the O-ring on it, and it slides nice. I put a little bit of Vaseline on the inside of the tube, and it slides real nice in there. So that's gonna be airtight to keep any air from going out the back of the unit. So I'm gonna start by using my drill press to drill a pilot hole through this male adapter for the input, and the tricky part is going to be getting it exactly centered because I want the hole to be as big as possible, and the tube is only 1/4 inch. So the more center it is, the bigger the hole can be. So I'm gonna try to get right up on 1/4 inch and then drill out the bottom of the hole a little bigger to fit the 1/8 inch nipple from the valve. Alright, I got this unit as centered as I can on the vise. Gonna try to drill exactly in between these two ridges and right in the center. So here it goes. I'm gonna start off with an 1/8 inch bit. Alright, so there's the pilot hole, and it went all the way through. So now I'm gonna step up to a bigger bit. There's the 5/32 hole. All the way through. As you can see here, when I put the BB in a 7/32 hole, it doesn't fall through. And if I put that BB through the next size up, it falls through. So I'm gonna stop my hole at 7/32 so that the BB doesn't fall down into the input hole, because that would not be good. So that's the final hole that's gonna go all the way into the aluminum. But in order to fit my 3/8 nipple, or my 1/8 inch nipple, sorry, I'm gonna need like a 3/8 hole. So I'm just gonna drill into the plastic to fit the nipple, but not into the epoxy or the aluminum. Alright, so I've gone up to 23/64 hole, and I'm gonna clean up the hole and try to fit my 1/8 inch nipple in. Alright, I got it started, and I'm gonna use a wrench to tighten it all the way in. So now after all that drilling, there's a lot of crap under the hole in there. So my next step would be to clean that out a little bit. Make sure the BB has free passage through there. So I blew out all the loose stuff, and I used a file to get that big chunk of aluminum down a little bit. I used a small file, and then I used a paper towel to kind of clean up all around the area, and then I blew it out again. And now you can see it's pretty smooth in there, so it won't damage the O-ring. Alright, so I assembled the breech load to the valve and barrel unit, and as you can see, it's kind of at an angle. Not kind of, it's very at an angle. But with a little coercion, I can push the barrel support up over the chamber, and it's fine. So I'm not too overly worried about that. But I'm gonna do a couple test fires, I think, to see how this holds up. Alright, the test shots went great. Since I have a hop-up, or a sort of hop-up, installed on my barrel, and this breech load is pushing the BBs behind the hop-up, it's actually putting really great spin on it. It's not too much, but it's just perfect. It needs a little bit of tuning, and the next step, I guess, would be to drill a hole right about there to drop BBs in. And one thing I noticed during test shots, which was kind of expected, is when I fire, I load a BB, I pull this out for now, drop a BB in, let it roll all the way into there, and then put this back in. And since this is an airtight seal, when I fire, this actually blows back. It probably won't happen now because there's no BB. It happens a little bit. But when there's a BB in there, there's more resistance and there's more pressure pushing back. So it actually came out to about there. So as I thought, it's not as efficient. But when I hook up my bolt to this, I'm gonna prevent it from blowing back, so all the power will be transferred to the BB. Alright, so this piece actually fell off. So what I did was drilled a hole in the head so I can put it in there and glue it in a little better. And I added this little spacer to keep the whole thing more stable so it doesn't knock this off again. So hopefully that'll work a little better. Alright, so I added this handle to the back of the plunger that you can use to pull back instead of grabbing the metal. And it's just locked by rotation in that little groove, so that when it fires it doesn't get shot back by the air. So to unlock it and load it, you just rotate it like that and then pull it back, put in the BB, push it back forward, and then lock it again. Alright, so what I did was I connected this back plunger to this bolt up here using these rods, and I made a couple brackets out of PVC so that when I pull this back, everything comes back with it. And this is spring assisted, but it doesn't go all the way forward on its own because of this friction in here. So you just pull it back, push it back forward. My last step would be to add a magazine. So loading it should look something like this. And now it would fire. Simple as that.